This is Bob Sansevier with Pioneer Press writer John Shipley. You write about everything, including the Twins. You were down there at spring training. The Nathan story. I don't understand. He's going to throw on Saturday. Is it really just for him to get through the denial phase and realize that he's got to get the surgery? And it's, I mean, who could, they cannot count, even if he threw and didn't have the kind of pain that I think a lot of people are expecting him to have, they're not going to put all their confidence in. They can't count on a guy who's got a torn ligament in his elbow.
That's the reality. He has a torn ligament. So even if it doesn't hurt, how effective can you be with a torn ligament in your throwing elbow? I don't understand it. I think if I were Joe, he's 35 years old. I think he's going to turn 36 this year. He might be worried that this is the end of his career if he has to have surgery, because if you look at a lot of these guys, it takes them 2 years to come back from this kind of surgery. Then he's 37. You know, he might be thinking, wow, I'm going to do anything I can not to have surgery. But if he doesn't have surgery, that doesn't mean he can be the Twins closer.
No, it doesn't. And also, if he has the surgery, whether it's Roush, John Roush, Matt Guerrero, they bring someone in, the closing job may not be open when he comes back. So I guess I think we can understand a piece of him wanting to give it a shot, but I mean, realistically, what are the odds if you were to put from 0 to 100% of him actually throwing without pain and being able to throw this year? It's got to be pretty darn close to zero.
That's a zero.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to happen. He was in a lot of pain. I was there when he got hurt. And the first thing he said the next day was, I certainly don't want to pick up a baseball right now. And I don't know if you have a torn ligament, what's going to change between now and then. I don't care how many little training things.
I think it's like it's part of what we hear about with the grieving process. He's still in denial. Right. And he needs to get past that and go through the other stages.
And I think a big part of it is that he knows that he's on one of the 2 or 3 best teams in baseball.
Yes.
And I think that really hurts him right now.
Well, of course it does. And now, speaking of one of the best 2 or 3 teams in baseball, they'll be a lot better if they get Joe Mauer locked up. I still think it'll get done before the start of the season. Are you getting any indication that won't happen by the start of the season?
No, not particularly, but it does make you wonder what the holdup is. And this is what I think is probably happening. Now, the Twins insist upon not giving him deferred money. They say, I've asked Jerry Bell about that. Jim Pohlad has told Kelsey that. They're not going to give him deferred money. So they have to pay him straight up. Now Mauer's going to want $25 million a year, I think. You know, I think my guess is that's his cutoff. If the Twins pay him that much, that's 1/4 of their salary. They're in trouble. They want to lower that and sign him for longer. And my guess is that's what they're dealing with.
Well, then you think it passes the deferred payment thing. It's what teams do, and for them to be so obstinate about it. Get the deal done if it means deferring the money. You make a special exception for him. Anyway, John, I know we're not going to be done talking about this in the weeks, certainly in the weeks and months ahead of what happens with Mauer. Thank you.